Today, filmmaking has become so glamorous, but you stay away from glamour.
When I was a child, it was far more glamorous. But today, you think of simply as another audiovisual language. Most people normally don't worry about these things. They just go to see a film because the film is telling them a story. Challenges will always be there. At that time, there were challenges of shortages. We could never get the kind of stock we wanted.
Since you have been making films for so many years, I mean, you are one of the greatest filmmakers for us, for the audiences. Today, filmmaking has become so glamorous, but you stay away from glamour. Your office is so different from others. How do you look at this change? Did you, when you were a 20-year-old, did you ever think that filmmaking is going to become so glamorous at some point?
You see, when I was a child, it was far more glamorous.
Please tell me more.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that, you see, now it's become part of everybody's life. When early, that is when cinema started, and then it started to technologically develop. And each development made another breakthrough in the audiovisual medium, And all those things happened. But today you don't think much of that. You see, because in the beginning what happened was that whatever technological things that were happening were the most important ones. 3D, this, that, widescreen, name it, there's so many different kinds of things. But today you don't think of any of that. Now the whole idea is much more on content, and not technology. You don't pay too much attention to technology simply because the technology is there to use. You don't think of that as being some kind of contribution from the filmmaker's point of view. It's a contribution of the technology that is there for you to make use of if you wish to. So today you think of simply as another audiovisual language, and you're using it as much as well as you can possibly.
Do you see films today, the new ones? What is your
Films?
feedback like?
Well, I do. I see. What happens is after a while, you see films only because you know that there's something there. You know the work of somebody, or any part of that film, like say for example, any department of that film. Because you see, some films have excellent camera work, because the cameraman, his kind of work. And those people who shoot in color, those people who shoot in black and white, that is monochrome. Now, those kind of things, so for a filmmaker, some of these things are very interesting. Apart from the content, of course. Content is, of course, primary, but the fact is that when you go to see a film, you want to see everything in it, not just follow the story, because you want to see the manner in which it has been shot, the manner it has been conceived, the manner it has been directed, and the manner in which it is narrated, visually narrated, sound-wise narrated, and so on. So you see, so you want to enjoy the film in terms of how film should be enjoyed. Most people normally don't worry about these things. They just go to see a film because the film is telling them a story,
Yeah.
which they enjoy or they don't enjoy. But there's much more to it, if you wish to. It's like, you say a beautiful Persian carpet, let us say. Now, that Persian carpet is just a beautiful carpet. But if you get seriously interested in it, then you look at the weave and you'll see the intricacy of all of that. Even, then you start to look at it in depth. And then you turn it over and look from the back, how brilliantly it has been done. That sort of thing. So this is for anything, but even in the cinema, it's the same sort of thing, yeah.
So, sir, as we were just talking about Manthan and the challenges that you had while shooting the film, not only Manthan, even Bhumika. If you were a 30-year-old filmmaker today, how excited would you be because the technology is so evolved?
Filmmaking is such a profession that, challenges will always be there. At that time, there were challenges of shortages. We could never get the kind of stock we wanted. We had to do with any number of different kinds of stock. There were all kinds of shortages. But the whole excitement at that time was to how to beat those shortages, and get the kind of result you want when you know that there are certain things that are impossible and certain things that may be possible, but you really have to try very hard to get it right. So some of those challenges were met, some were not. Because, when I now think of Bhumika, for instance, even with those shortages, if we did have better laboratories, probably our results could have been better, which now, which would be solved very easily. At that time there was those kind of problems. So it's always, but then, human ingenuity is something that I respect greatly, because human mind is such. Now, for instance, some assistant of mine or some colleague of mine will suddenly come up with a solution, which I would be tearing my hair about, and then I find that suddenly he's got the answer to the problem. And those are the kind of things. But that's the exciting part of it. I've always found that the most exciting part of it is the fact that you're short of something and you have to make do with what you have. And, because it gets you to work your mind. It is sort of, you have to be ingenious about a lot of things, and work towards solving the problem. And that kind of problem solving is something that I find very exciting in film.
Did it not ever make you bitter? Because the last time I was talking to you during Mujib, you say that you still find it's still challenging for you to find people to fund your films. Yeah, and you talking about challenges then also.
Oh
Did
yeah.
it never get bitter?
No, that will never be, that will never end, because you see, the filmmaking is that kind of thing, because everything depends on whether you have anybody considers you having any kind of market value. And then if there is no market value, you have to create that market value.
So you don't get bitter about it?
But I mean, I've been working for more than 50 years in all this. So, you now think of it as that's how it is. You've chosen this. You have to, you made your bed, so you better lie in it, whether you like it or not.
So the way you talk about challenges of shortage when you faced it, today we have everything maximum, right? It's like a challenge of maximum where there's so much resources, there's so much money being pumped in for films, for stars, for everything that you can think about. But at the same time, we are not making films that are important to the society in a way. We are telling stories, of course, but we are not talking about what is important. We don't make political commentaries in our films. We don't make social commentaries in our films. How do you feel about that?
Well, that was always the case. That's not anything new. But what to me is something which I'm slightly dismayed with, is the fact that nobody is thinking. Nobody is seriously thinking about, you're going for easy solutions everywhere, and that is doing something, actually some harm to your imagination. The human imagination is incredible, but if you're not going to make use of it, then eventually it's all rust, and it'll be useless. It's the ingenuity and what you can do. So I don't mind shortages, because shortages make you think. If you didn't have shortages, you wouldn't worry about anything. And even your solutions are going to be such banal and awful.
Sir, one last question, because as you just shared with us about Nasiruddin Shah not changing his clothes for 45 days, Smita Patil doing her own stuff, washing her own clothes, you all just living in a 3 BHK to do Manthan. Today things are different. Every star has at least 4 vanity vans. One for the gym, one for their clothes, one for their food.
But that's because they have no money.
But is it even important? Is it necessary so much while
Of
making a
course.
film?
No, we were working with such little money. I mean, it was just unbelievable. So you can't believe the amount of money that we made a film like Manthan. It cost nothing. It really cost nothing to make. But at that time, even that was difficult. So it isn't. But you see, but then I'm to me, when you have slightly short of something, that's the best situation to be in. If you get everything, then it's hopeless. You're like a spoiled child.
So today stars a spoiled child.
No, I don't. I don't like that.
But about filmmakers also, they're so much into glamour, getting pictures done, being with the stars, that someone like you, how do you look at the change that way? The change of
Well,
attitude?
I mean, to each his own. Actually, I don't make any kind of value judgment on because different people work differently, and work with some people work with lots of things with them. I mean, everything available to them. Some people work with shortages, but the results. The important thing is the results.
Are you happy with the results?
Oh yeah, of course.
What is something that you watched recently?
Have I seen anything recently? The trouble is there's so much on offer today, and even cinemas. I haven't been to the cinemas in such a long time because so much is available on television now. From all over the world, from our own country and in different languages, and then so you don't even think. You don't think like it at a time when there was television was new and so on. The different situation at that time. But today, you don't think about any of these things. But I'm always on the lookout for somebody who's doing something fascinating, interesting, and who's working in a place where it's difficult to make films, and comes with a film that is really exciting. Those are things. Also, those are the ones that excite one now.
Yeah. Last time you told me you were watching Panchayat.
Yeah.
I think the new season of Panchayat is
Yeah,
coming.
yeah.
So, yeah, thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Not at all.
Thank you so much for all the work.
Not